What's up, guys? So I pretty much, long story short, lost my job again. I appreciate the opportunity, and me, I think that I know for sure, definitely, I have to really get into a place where everything just feels numb, and I have to figure this out. And I've made a lot of sacrifices throughout my life, and I'm so grateful for the things that I have, and I'm even more grateful for the things that I'm going to get. You know, and I'm very optimistic about the maneuver that's going to happen, that God is going to place me in, because from how I see it, it's almost like, when you're in a pool and you go to kind of like the deep end, and you're like, okay, I can kind of swim, but your footing or something like that may, mess up on you, and you feel like you are about to, kind of lean back and drown, but you was able to kind of get yourself back up. That's how I feel right now. And I think for myself, one of the hardest things that I ever had to deal with was, people, I think, believing and trusting in me, and seeing, my talents for, I guess, wanting validation for the things that we do. No matter if you make music, no matter if you make content or anything like that, a lot of us seek for that validation to make us feel that what we're doing is going in the right direction. And I will say, definitely, cutting hair is one of my passions. But music is just everything with me. I started music when I was around 12 years old. My mom, it's like one of those little voice recording things. When I was real young, I used to have my phone. And what I would do was I would beatbox the beat on my phone, and on the tape recorder, I would play the beatbox off of my phone, play it on the tape recorder, and what you could do was, it was kind of like you could speed your voice up, and so I made like a little song. And what would be crazy if someday I end up finding that tape recorder? That would be something crazy. But yeah, I remember making a song on there. I remember going to middle school. Me and one of my friends, his name was Ike. We used to always wanted to be in a rap group, and he ended up taking his career to a great path. And we was in class writing lyrics, just trying to figure out, like, our sound and things like that. Then once when I kind of got into 10th grade, my friend Josh, he ended up getting a studio from his brother, and me and him would literally just have, I felt like it was the most fun time I've ever had. Like, just in the room making music with one of my best friends, and both of us, we kind of had that passion, and we didn't necessarily, I think we made a couple of decent songs, at the time. Nothing compared to, the things that we make now, but, it was just the feeling of just being able to do that was just amazing. And I remember, and this is kind of how I really took in, music was something real different for me. My freshman year, I went to Morehouse College, as y'all know. My freshman year, went to school, and I ended up having this class. I believe it was like like a debate class or something like that. But they had this thing outside of the class where they had some Grammy nominated recipients from our school come and teach a music class, and that is Professor Henny and Professor Garrett, two guys that I met when I was in Morehouse. And I remember COVID had, this was my sophomore year, I'm sorry. I remember COVID had happened, and we ended up all going home. And so we ended up having a class session online. And had the class session online. And I played, I heard everybody else's music. And not to be like arrogant or anything like that, but it was just like, I saw a vision for my music that was just like, I listened to music growing up, and I just think that I always had just a type of ear for music. Now, would I say I was, at a excellent place of making music when I was 16? No. I was still trying to get my feet wet, trying to figure all this stuff out. But I ended up playing a song, and the song was called College Quitter. That was a song that I had ended up, I found the beat on YouTube. I mixed it actually myself. And, it just had kind of like that story kind of feeling to it. But when I played it, everybody was just like, wow, like, oh, man. And I knew, I had something when Professor Garrett and Professor Henny, they hit me up outside of the class and was like, hey man, we want you to come to this class, and we want you to talk and things like that. Now, I can't remember what happened with that opportunity. Professor Henny, Professor Gary, if you're listening to this, like I said, I appreciate you guys. You guys are really inspiring, people that, walk into you guys' footsteps. You inspire guys like me. So I want to say that, first and foremost. But, yeah, it didn't work out how I thought. And, I felt real down about it, because, I felt like, oh man, like these people believe in me, and I'm talking about people who won Grammys and got nominated for Grammys and stuff like that. Like, that's big. And, I felt like I met a lot of artists who kind of had like just someone to, either, help push them, or, help, promote them, or whatever the case is. And I always used to look at my talent, and I'd be like, bro, like, sometimes I feel like I'm in the wrong era, because I do a lot of emotional rapping, man. Like I definitely like to, dive into, the whole rap, but everything that I write, I feel like comes from the heart for real. It's from a place where I know other people can connect. And, I used to want to force people to like my music. And it was like, bro, you can't necessarily do that. And so, I think for me, I try to always get some type of validation from people on, my music and whatever the case is. And I thought that people wouldn't like my music because of the times that we're in now. Like, people don't want to listen to, deep conscious rap, like people who are in my age. Um, and I'm not saying that they don't want to listen to it, but it's like we already have the forefront of those guys, like J. Cole, Kendrick. We got all those guys, so people are all, looking at them because that's what we raised up on. But I feel like, I have a spirit, I have a talent, and I have, a hard love for music that nobody can take. And when I lost my job, I'm not gonna lie. When I lost my job, both occasions, it was just like, damn, like, what am I about to do? But this is just a video that just reminds you guys, like I told y'all I'm gonna get there, bro. This music stuff is gonna happen. It's gonna happen for me. I don't necessarily know when. I don't necessarily know how, but it's gonna work out. And I just want you guys to know that, I was a testimony. And, I'm showing you guys that it can happen for you. Everybody keep, talking to me about consistency. And consistency been a struggle for me for years. Mainly because, I'm just real, I'm a real go with the flow type of guy. But I like to structure things in order to get things done now. And so, and I like the routine. So for me, it's just like with anything else. Like me, today, I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna, look for some jobs. I'm gonna apply. I'm gonna work out. Go get my son. Things like that. Like everything that I'm gonna do, I know, like, cool, this is what I'm gonna do. And I have a consistent way of doing it. So I do this every day. This is what I do. And one thing I remember through all of this is a lot of people just say, bro, like, it may not seem like it's gonna work, but bro, you gotta keep going. And trust me, it's gonna happen. So that's what I'm doing, man. I'm gonna keep going in this music thing. I love barbering, don't get me wrong. I wish, that could have really worked out for me. But I guess it just wasn't something that God had planned for me. He let me experience it. I was like, yeah, bro, that was cool, but you can do this. This is what you need to do. And I appreciate everybody that supports me. I appreciate everybody who, tells me about, my music and things like that. And I really want you guys to honestly listen to my music. And I want you to listen to it with open ears and put yourself in those places. I've been in dark spaces, like you guys know. I've been in real dark spaces where, I lost my family, I lost everything. And, I just talk about those things. I talk about, the war with self. I talk about overcoming challenges. I talk about, a lot of things that people can relate to. And that's what I want my music to be about, because I want people to feel heard. And I want people to know that I feel you. Like, I feel you. Like, you're not alone. And so now thinking about it, it's like, man, like, hopefully, I get I hope I get a following of people, who end up liking it. But I can't bank myself on that. I have to put out the quality and the things that I feel like I like and love within this music thing. And I can't really, set myself up on expecting everybody to like my music. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna put my music down in the chat, man. If you guys do have time to check it out, Therapy, my single. I really cried on this song. I'm telling you guys, like, you guys just don't know, man. It's been tough for me, for years to even just put my pen to pad for real. Like, been tough just trying to find that inspiration. But Therapy was a song that I felt like, came to me at the time. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, I'm gonna update you guys, and always remember to just stay consistent.